Oh, is it recording? How's it? I'm going to show you a little bit about panoramics. What I really like is a wide angle shot. As you know, I like surfing, and this is one of my favorite panoramics. I didn't take this, of course, but this really inspires me, and that's what panoramics can do, give you a wide angle shot, a little bit of perspective. Even our money has some wide angle shots of the different buildings in the White House. So let's learn panoramics and how Photoshop can make that easy. First of all, you have to take good panoramic shots. To do this, you want to make sure you're in manual setting. The reason why we choose manual is because we want the pictures to be varied in the lighting according to the natural lighting. For example, if you take it on auto and you take one here, and one here, and my light source is over here, they're all going to be kind of matched up the same, but your camera does that, and when you stitch it together, it won't like mesh well between those three photos. So we're going to get that natural variation of the light. Let me show you what I mean. So you want to choose a lighting that's, not too dark and not too bright. This is on the left side of the classroom, and actually the sun is on the right side, and then this is the other side of the classroom. And notice how bright it is. It's because I'm right into the sun, okay? And this is kind of like in the middle, and this is on the left side, and then back onto my left, okay? So you see the variation. Now when you take the photos, you want to, don't take here, then here, then here, okay? Pretend it's like swiveling. So take one like this, then here, then here, then here. If you're going to be taking vertical and horizontal, okay, you're going to want to go vertical, okay, and vertical, and then take it like this, and then you can get both horizontal and vertical at the same time. Now you want to, I usually play by the 20% rule. You want to try to get 20% overlapping pictures, okay? So notice how I'm overlapping now. Here I'm on the computer screen, and I still have that same amount of computer screen. I make sure I had all of that right. And then here's that computer again, and here's the last one. Now this last one I didn't do a good job because notice the chair, there's no back here, and then all of a sudden there's a back. Luckily Photoshop is smart and they may be able to fix that, but you'll definitely want to overlap those two so that Photoshop doesn't have to do as much work and cause mistakes. So that's how I took my panoramic shot, and that's just one horizontal one. Of course, check your directions. There may be different variations that you may have, but I'm going to show you the simple one right now. Now, once you take your photos, and again, I wouldn't take them in the highest quality unless you're going to print this out like my surfing poster right here. But I would go to maybe 4 megapixel, 5 megapixel, maybe even smaller, 3. It's in that range so that Photoshop doesn't take so long to put it together. Now, when you first put it together, you go to File, File, Automate, and then Photomerge. And what you're seeing now is I've already done it, but I'm basically showing you how that happened. And it took about 5 minutes for it to load and do it, depending on how many pictures you have. So you're going to choose in the browser and then choose the photos that you took, and you're going to select them. Click one, shift, hold down, hit open, and they'll all load here, and then you just hit OK. Now there's different types that I really challenge you to try these different types to see which would look the best, because each one will look better depending on the subject and the setting and all that. So check those out. Those are some really good things. But right now I'm just going to use auto. When I hit OK after 5 minutes, I'll get this image right here. Now what I'm going to do is make this into an HDR photo, which is like a high definition photo that corrects the lighting balance. Okay. Notice it did a good job on that chair right there. There is a little bit of cracks here that I may need to use a clone tool to piece up. But once you have it automated, you'll want to merge these cells together, or sorry, merge the, or you can, yeah. So as you can see the different pieces that it used from each of the photos to put those together. So I'm going to highlight all of them, shift click, and then I'm going to hit merge layers. Now, after it merges the layers, I'm going to try to bring out more of the light over here and make this a little bit more dark. And I'm going to do this manually so that I can control the natural look to it. So right now I have one image. I'm going to call this original. Okay. Then I'm going to click and drop it in and make another copy. I'm going to call this left side, or I'll call this dark. Okay. Then make another copy of the same layer. I'm going to call that light. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and make this image dark. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments. I'm going to go to my curves. Now, I'm going to try to make... Oh, and make sure you hide the other layers. That would be a good thing to do. So right now I'm working on dark. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Curves, or Command M. And now I'm going to adjust. Notice how now I can see outside the window. And again, for the curves, you can click and make different points and bend at different points that you want to try to make it more dark. Now notice these whites. I don't want that like black. So I'm going to try to fix that and try to make just certain parts of it bright. Okay. Okay, so I think I have something that I like. And notice that it made this side of the room dark too. Now I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to finish this off and make a light layer. So image. So Command M, and I'm going to curve this, and I'm going to bring this up. So notice how it gets brighter. Okay, now I'm going to hit OK. Dark. So go ahead and you can eye all of them. I'm going to hit the E for the eraser tool. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit big, and my hardness I'm going to make it about the middle so it has a soft edge. And now I'm going to make it even bigger, right bracket key, and notice I want this a little bit darker, so I'm going to erase some of that. And notice this is a little bit too dark, so I'm not actually going to touch that. So I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to do the windows, I think, just so I can see a little bit out there. Maybe a little bit in here. But see, now notice that it's too contrast, so I'll maybe not do that. If you want it like less obvious, you can hit your opacity to 50%, and then you can just touch it a little bit. If there's parts that you want the original color, you can basically erase the light area and the dark layer, and it'll be the original. Just make sure you feather it and it looks more natural. But play with these 3 layers to get the right balance, and use the eraser tool as necessary to blend them well. Now you're going to crop this photo. So you want to make sure that you zoom out, and then with the M from our key, you're going to click on the lowest edge point, and you're going to have to crop it. Now notice in the top right, I'm a little off the edge here, so I might need to bring it down some to make it in there. So now I'm right, so look at each corner, and you're limited. So right here, okay, I'm limited by that point. I can't go below that. Just like up here, I'm limited to up that point. So make sure that you don't go outside those boundaries. So when you're done, you go Image and Crop. Now here's a couple other examples that I made. Now this one, I tried taking all the photos like this. And Photoshop doesn't really recognize that well, so that one didn't turn out. So I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. It did do well this way though. I really like this one. But notice how my computer screen is tilted. When I took it, I did half the computer screen on one picture and half the other computer screen, and I got tilted. and because of the lens. So I would definitely recommend if there's a main object that you get a full picture of that main object and don't cut it off. But I really think this one turned out well. Now to do this one, I took 6 pictures. So for example, here's a picture: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And don't forget, Photoshop is a powerful tool. Can you imagine if you had to stitch all those photos together? That would be crazy, crazy.